Happy Saturday, webheads! Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and I'm your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you the latest FOC video, powered by my local comic shop, Comic Central, highlighting some of the latest, the greatest, the hottest, the newest comic books getting ready to hit store shelves. So if there's anything on this list that you guys like, make sure you jot it down, let your comic shop know. Pre-order it online, do whatever it is that you need to do, because I went over this list on my own a little bit already, and there are some great stuff coming out. So if you like this kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So let's get started. Kicking things off with DC Comics, we got the new history of the DC Universe. This is a part 1 of 4. So if you want to learn about the DC history from past to present, go ahead, check this out. Definitely has its share of variant covers, just like anything else does. Then we move on to the Superman, issue 27. Issue 26 was really good. We have Lois Lane dealing with, she's dealing without having any of her powers. And that must be mentally hard for her. And that is a little bit explored in the last issue. And then, of course, we got all the different things that are going on with the supporting cast in the book as well. This is a well-written book, one of my favorite books right now from DC Comics. All right, and then moving on, we got some of the Absolute reprints, and this one is focusing on Absolute Batman issue 1, Absolute Superman issue 1, and Absolute Wonder Woman issue 1, as these are Mark Spears connecting covers. So you put these 3 covers together and you're going to make one cool image. So if you're into Mark Spears art and you like connecting covers like this, go ahead, pick this one up, guys. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Wonder Woman one looks pretty badass also, man. So great stuff here when it comes to that. And then we dive into the Absolute universe. We got Absolute Martian Manhunter. This is issue 4. Pretty interesting story with this detective and the Martian trying to work together to stop this white Martian. But along the way, it's some trippy stuff, and what our character John sees is pretty wild, man. So I'm curious to see how this whole book turns out, like I would say 10 issues from now, right? And then we go into Absolute Wonder Woman issue 9. Can Diana escape the Black Maze? So we did get introduced to a new story arc in the last issue. I would say the artwork is obviously not as strong as in issue 8, but this is an interesting story, seeing how she is dealing with this new adversary and this whole maze situation. Always nice looking covers when it comes to Absolute Wonder Woman. Then we move on to Batman Ghosts Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween Special Facsimile Edition issue 1. That is such a long name. So if you want that, check that out. And then we have, for our DC fans, we got DC Sonic the Hedgehog part 4 of 5. So that's kind of cool. We got the robot Sonic there. I forgot what he's called. And then we got that variant cover. Then we move on to Green Arrow issue 25. I said I was going to jump on this book, and unfortunately they did not have any copies by the time I went to go to the shop and pick it up. So it looks like I'll be missing out on Green Arrow this current run. So yeah, there's that. All right, cool variant covers though for this one. Then there's your blank. Then we move on to Harley Quinn issue 52. Harley Quinn is Harley Quinn. I'm just not the biggest fan of the story right now. There's always decent covers when it comes to the character, right? So if you're a cover collector or you like the character and you're a completionist, go ahead, pick this up. Then we have Justice League Unlimited issue 8. We are yesterday. So we're still dealing with that storyline that is going on here. So I have not been reading it, but anybody that is, that's pretty awesome. We got some great looking covers here for that story, especially with the good guys versus the bad guys here. That's just classic. So really cool stuff. And then we got Mr. Terrific. This is issue 2. What did you guys think of the first issue? Was it what you expected? Hopefully we'll learn more about the character and how he truly became like the Mr. Terrific you know him of today. And then we move on to those indie gems. We got News from the Fallout issue 1 of 6, published by Image Comics. This one does sound pretty interesting as we get to see some radioactive disaster that happens, and this guy is trying to see if he's the only one that's surviving out there. So that sounds cool. And then we got Biker Mice from Mars, issue 2025, issue 1. I'll probably pass on this one. This is just something that's not my thing. I'm not wasting my money on this one. And then we have Don't Forget Your Briefcase, issue 1 of 5. This one's published by Mad Cave. This one does sound pretty cool as we get to see a person that is side by side with the president at all times and carries this special briefcase that at any time you can open up, and it has the nuclear codes in it to where you can set off the nuclear bomb. So I don't know, man. I really don't know what to expect out of that. That could be cool though. Then we have Mark Spears Monsters, issue 2. This is the 3rd printing of that. So if you like werewolves, and of course you like Mark Spears Monsters artwork, check that book out. And then we have Lost Fantasy issue 1, the 3rd printing, as obviously it pays homage to PlayStation cover. And then we have a new issue 1 called The Illuminati, issue 1 of 5. This one is done by AWA Upshot. And then we have Lazarus Fallen issue 1. This is a series premiere. This one is done by Greg Rucka, so this could be something for you guys. And then we move on to some Marvel comics. We have Fantastic Four First Steps issue 1. So I guess this is obviously has to do like with the movie version of the Fantastic Four. So you might want to check that one out. There's also, I'm sure, a foil cover. And then we have Captain America issue 1. So this is the one that is written by Chip Zdarsky. This could be good. We haven't had a solid Cap run in quite some time. And so again, Chip Zdarsky has written some great comics in the past. What can he do with Captain America? I want to hear your comments below on what you think this book could be. Interesting cover right there. Nice. And then you got the Rivals variant. And then you got your traditional comic book cover variant. And one more variant. And your Blake cover. All right, and then we got Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. This is issue 1. I like that cover. I'll definitely be checking this out and seeing what it has to offer. I like the one where he's like the Thing. And this one he's looking up at a helicopter, so that's kind of cool. And then you got him spraying his like laser beam out of his mouth variant. And then you got the action figure variants. And then you got that random variant. And you got this weird cartoon variant. I think this was an actual show one time. And then we got Bring On the Bad Guys, Green Goblin, issue 1. I'm excited for these one-shots with these bad guys. I think this has some fun potential here. This one you got Green Goblin cover with facing off against Spider-Man. So that's cool. And then you got a whole bunch of other variants for this as well. Yeah, but not too much else to say about this one, but I'm curious to see what these ones will have to offer. And then we have Wolverine and Deadpool's issue 1. So this is a series where you have Wolverine and Laura, and you have Deadpool and Ellie, and they're teaming up to do missions against bad guys. So since we don't have Deadpool anymore, this is, I guess, the next best thing you can come out with. Listen, could it be good? Yeah, you never know. Then you got X-Men Hellfire Vigil issue 1. So this is like another gala, except it's a vigil because we had bad things happen in the last gala, and so they're kind of, remembering that. So yeah, there's that one if you guys into that type of X stuff, right? That's a cool cover right there. And then we have Marvel Zero issue 1, collecting Free Comic Book Day 2025 stuff. And then you have Amazing Spider-Man issue 7. Anybody wondering where Hellgate was? Well, there he was, or there he is. He was introduced in the very first issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. Haven't seen him since, and now he makes his appearance here. That's a weird Felicia cover. This is a much better one. I'll get that one, and I'll get this one. So that's a nice, old school comic style of art there. Then we have Immortal Thor issue 25. I guess Immortal Thor is going to die. So yeah, there's that. That's kind of a cool cover right there. And there's another one. It says even an immortal can die. So yeah, he's dying. And then we have all new Venom. This is issue 8. Looks like it's got Doc Ock in here. Listen, this is like a guilty pleasure comic book for me. I don't really like Mary Jane being a Venom symbiote, but it's better than Jackpot in my eyes. And I love how she hates on Paul, or how everybody hates on Paul in this comic book. And the symbiote has a weird relationship with Mary Jane. So yeah, there's that. And this is a gorgeous cover right here. I'll definitely snag that one up. And then you got this classic old school cover right there. And then we have Ultimate Wolverine issue 7. So is he doing battle against magic here? Maybe. That's a nice cover. And then we have Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider issue 15. Haven't read this since issue 2, but if you're a cover collector and you like the Spider characters, that is a gorgeous cover, man. They're relaunching this series in case you guys did not know that. And then we have a couple more of the indie gems, or maybe one more here. And we have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, issue 1. Listen, guys, I am telling you right flipping now, if you have not bought the first trade paperback of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, go ahead and do that. And then prepare yourself for this, okay? I am telling you, if you loved the first series, you're gonna love this second series. They did a preview of this in the IDW Free Comic Book Day stuff and showed you a couple pages from it, and it's like a revenge tale. I think this is going to be awesome. Please, guys, do yourself a favor. Check out this book. I do not think you will be disappointed. And there you guys have it, highlighting some of the latest stuff that's getting ready to come out and hit store shelves about a month from now. What'd you think about those Mark Spears Absolute reprints? Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Like, my gosh, there is some great comics. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more content, there's more right here. In fact, I put out the top 10 most anticipated comics for next week earlier today. So you get 2 videos today. And as always, support those local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting. Always remember, read your comics so we can have great comic conversation. Guys, enjoy your weekend.